He's been creating simple solutions for communication and connection for over 16 years. He's the director of product development for Premier, which is a leading division of the largest educational companies in North America called School Specialty. He's the COO of a software startup. And no, okay, this is a timeline. And he's built 3 learning management systems for over 40,000 schools in the US and Canada. He's worked with Disney to build a custom PC environment just for kids and has helped create the user interface for Intel's Classmate PC project. Currently, he is senior manager and online media for CanPages and the Canadian Local Search, which is a Canadian local search company where he manages social media, search, and applications. He's spoken about technology, learning, and communicating with clients to audiences in Europe, Asia, Africa, and North America. Please join me in welcoming John.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I was getting the impression that I was doing all those jobs at once, and I was thinking, wow, I'm busy, but not that busy. Good to see everybody here, and good to say hi to a couple of you as I was walking around. Lots of people here and lots of different reasons for looking at social media. I'm going to start with 2 stories that might be different places that you might be wanting to go with social media in your business. If you recognize the story, shout out the name. This is going to be an interactive presentation. Don't hesitate, shout it out, put up your hand. We'll stop, we'll do stuff. First story, 2005. There's a tailor in London, Savile Row, bespoke fashion, custom suits, 4, 5, 6K a pop. Not having enough business. Decides to start a blog, English Cut. Anybody know the name? Thomas Mahan. Today he has more business than he can do. He travels around to New York, Sydney, San Francisco, all over the place, but he's still one guy running his business. That's one line on the trajectory that I want you to think about. The other is, and which one do you see yourself in? The other is a guy immigrates to the United States from Russia at the age of 3, raised in New Jersey, son of an owner of a local corner liquor store. Starts running it in the late 90s. In the early 2000s, starts putting some things online. In 2006, he starts a video series on wine. Anybody know the name now? Gary Vee, absolutely. Big time, winelibrary.com, now doing $60 million a year in business, one of the biggest retailers of wine online in the States. 2 different points. Social media helped both of them. One, just to stay busy and to do what he loved to do. The other, to grow huge. So, as I was thinking about how to present this talk on social media, I was thinking, how do I want to give it? And I was looking at some of the titans in business strategy and social media, and I was thinking, you know, maybe I could do it like this. Who's this guy? Who is it? Gladwell, Malcolm Gladwell. I was thinking, okay, if I start it, here's my first slide. And I showed him my boss, and he freaked out, and he says, we want these people to like us. I thought, okay, that might, you know, just come across a little bit arrogant. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so I thought, you know, maybe I could do it like this guy. Who's this? Mark Zuckerberg, almost. Close. Jesse Eisenberg playing Mark Zuckerberg in the movie. Everybody saw the movie, The Social Network? And I thought, okay, my first slide right there. Showed my boss, freaked out again. Lacks a certain simpatico. So, okay, 3rd time lucky, I thought, I'm going to do it like this guy. Who's this? Seth Godin. He of the purple cows and the, what kind of sundaes? Meatball Sundays, absolutely. And I thought, you know, this is the way I'm going to do my presentation. So anyways, bear with me. We're going to go through this. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a little bit fast. And we're going to start the actual presentation now. So why are we talking about social media? Why are you here? Why am I here? What are we talking about? Remember this cartoon from the late 90s in the New Yorker? On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog? It's not really true anymore, is it? These days, everybody knows you're a dog, whether they've reviewed you online, whether they've seen you online, whether some website has been tracking you all over the world, Ad Marketplace, for instance, or Facebook, for instance. Everybody knows everything about you. It's kind of scary. even if they're wrong. They think they know everything about you. Mostly because of what we loosely call social media. So let's learn a little bit about ourselves, and here we really need some audience participation. So shout it out, show me hands, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. I'm going to show a couple icons of social networks, and I kind of want to know if you're on them. I'm going to ask in a personal sense, I'm going to ask in a business sense. So no points for getting this one. What's this? Thank you, excellent. Who's on Facebook? Personally? Who has a business page on Facebook? We got a few, way to go, hooray. What's this one? Twitter, who's tweeting? Whoa, we got quite a few tweeters. Who has a business or brand account on Twitter? I see a couple hands. Awesome, you guys are ahead of the pack. Anybody know this? Google+, who's on Google+? You guys rock. Wow, can't do a business page on Google+ or a brand page on Google+ right now, but you will be able to shortly. This one? Starts with an F. Flickr, awesome. Social pictures. How about this one? StumbleUpon, wow, I thought that would be a tough one. You guys are good. When we post something to our blog that's viral in nature, kind of funny, kind of interesting, kind of funky, Stephen Wang there does a lot of that stuff right there. Put up your hand, Stephen, please. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. We can often get 2,000 to 3,000 hits in a couple of hours from StumbleUpon. Great place to get traffic. What's that one? LinkedIn. Everybody here on LinkedIn? Of course. Personal page, right? Personal account. Who has put their company or their brand on LinkedIn? You guys rock. What's that one? Foursquare. We got some keeners here. Who has checked into a location? Okay, those are the geeks. Sorry. If you have a venue, have you put your business on Foursquare? Interesting thing to consider if you have a place where people might come, a location. Is that one? That one's dead. You don't have to know that one. That one? The hottest blogging platform right now, microblogging, patching quickly up to that one, which is WordPress. Cool. That gave me a bit of a sense of where you guys are, what you guys know, what you guys do, which is pretty awesome. You guys are doing an awful lot, and that'll influence a little bit of the rest of the presentation. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the evolution of omniscience, a.k.a. the Dataverse. And the dude in the front there is going to his wife, why did we come in here? I knew this was going to be boring, and I'm in the front. I can't even escape gracefully. No, he's not saying that. Don't worry, pictures of cute puppies are coming up. No problems. We're going to know about how people know which data is worth paying to through the evolution of the Dataverse. We're going to talk about the future, TM. And I'm going to give you 4 practical, simple, easy, actionable steps to improve your social media positioning, which are going to lead to a radical solution for your brand and for your business. So this is how Mark Zuckerberg sees the world every day. What movie is this from? The Matrix, 10 points for you. In the beginning, if this thing would work, the Dataverse had no independent existence, okay? What you paid attention to was what Chief Ugg said, as long as Ugg was around. When he said, disappeared, it was gone, it was over, it was done with. Pretty soon, we learned how to, through the use of symbols, and drawing and painting and other things like that, writing, give the Dataverse an independent existence. That was great, but it wasn't very portable. And those parts of it that were made of animal skin could rot. And the other problem was you had to be a trained professional to access this Dataverse. In fact, for most of recorded human history, if you could read and write, you were a white-collar professional. You had a good job. You had job security for life. It was awesome. Kind of makes you want to go back to those days a little bit. But the problem, in all written media, those books and other things like that, we paid attention to what old dead guys had written, and yes, it was mostly guys. Then along came mass media, newspapers. I have no idea. That's an actual headline on the New York Post. I have no idea how that newspaper is not sued out of existence. But perhaps that editor will wake up one morning missing some important part when the Secret Service catches on to this. Newspapers came out, and we paid attention to words in big, bold letters. The 500-channel universe came out, and we paid attention to stuff with good ratings. And then everything changed. Then the internet came out, and it changed dating, and it changed what we buy and how we buy. It changed how we know things and how we did our homework and how we did our work. The internet changed everything, but not right away. Take a moment of silence. Breathe in. Feel the awe. This is the very first website, a version of the very first website ever created in the history of the world. Written in 1991 by Dr. Tim Berners-Lee at CERN, an institute for research into atomic physics in Geneva, Switzerland. 1991, first website ever. As soon as there were websites, people started paying attention. We knew which ones to pay attention to because if there was one, it was important. There were only a few of them, but pretty soon there became to be a lot of them. And then we started to need some tools to know what was important, what to pay attention to. This is Yahoo, early 90s, directory. And we paid attention to websites in the Internet phone book, a human-generated directory. Pretty soon there were more pages. Look at that, a whole 25 million pages, soon to be much bigger. And Google came out with automated technology, spiders, that went out and crawled the web, found out what was there, and we knew what to pay attention to because it was stuff that ranked well in Google. Fast forward, MySpace is out already, but Facebook comes on the scene in 2004. Notice that is a Mark Zuckerberg production, the Facebook 2004, and we started paying attention to things that our friends talked about. The like button came out. Who knows how long ago the like button came out on the web at large? Only 2 years ago. Only 2 years ago the like button came out. And all of a sudden Facebook wasn't just a website. It was now a global conglomeration that had its tentacles, connections, in almost every website around the world. Thousands and millions of them. And we paid attention to what things that our friends liked. Now this is a screenshot from my Facebook account just 2 days ago as I was preparing for this in Montreal on our trip. In addition to noticing the nude stretchy pants, which are wonderful and beautiful and amazing things that my friend in Bellingham, Washington noticed, how many of you have access in your Facebook right now to that little thing on the right-hand side? Does your Facebook picture look like that? Few of you do. That's called the ticker. The ticker is a quicker, easier way to see what people are posting that you're connected to. Now, why does Facebook need a quicker, easier way for you to see stuff that you're connected to? See stuff that your friends are liking and doing? Anybody know? Because this is coming. In a couple of weeks, you're going to see that Facebook will have connections with services and or devices such that things that come into Facebook that your friends are doing, that you are doing, will come in without any choice on your part. Unless you've had a choice to allow it in the first place, but no active sharing. If you're watching a movie on Hulu, Facebook will update. So-and-so is watching Star Trek. You're plowing the back 40 in Farmville. It will update. Everybody loved Farmville spam back in the day when that was big. If you're taking a run with your Nike Plus, just ran a 10K, that's going to update there. And all that stuff, a book you're reading in Kobo, music you're listening to in Spotify will automatically come in, and that's why Facebook has created this ticker there. In the new Facebook, sharing isn't a choice, it's the default. So essentially, we're back to this village where what Ugg said was important, with a very small exception, that a lot more people can read, find, search, comment, edit, review, add, reply to it, and it'll never go away. Not scary. Everybody recognize this? Does your Facebook look like that? Way to go. We got a developer in the crowd. Awesome. So this happens to be me and my son Aiden, my youngest, and it's right after Game 7, Blackhawk victory. It was awesome. It was wonderful. Kathy, yay. Thank you for the tickets. And what you're going to see is that you'll have the ability to go back in time and see everything you've done throughout your whole life on Facebook. And what's that mean for your business? So we've gone through some of the evolution of media. We've gone through some of the evolution of what's going on online. What does this mean for your business? Well, let's take a look at the numbers. Right now, there's over 2 billion internet users. 1.5 of them are on social networks. 800 million are on Facebook. They had a day just this past week where 500 million people logged into Facebook on one day. These are mind-blowing numbers. This is crazy. This is unbelievable. This is life-changing, reality-altering. 200 million on Qzone, 200 million on Twitter, 100 million on RenRen. Who knows Qzone and RenRen? Don't worry, you didn't miss something important. They're Chinese social networks. I just threw them in to mess with you a little bit. What it means for your business? It means our entire culture is moving online. Everything, how we buy, how we communicate, how we interact, what we do, how our work happens, everything is moving online. What does that mean for your business? Well, one of the simplest things, and an important thing, is you're going to be reviewed. Your business is being reviewed. People are talking about you. And sometimes they say nice things, sometimes they don't. I cannot believe people actually exchange real American currency. This is a review of a restaurant for this square steamed mixture of rodent feces and sawdust on a tiny bun, bastard love child of a microwavable meat patty, and entrail drippings of roadkill festering on a hot July sun. Not so cool to read about your business. But there's good things as well. That's great if you have great character and great service and great products. There's also just kind of weird stuff, and you wonder, where the heck is this coming from? And you know, this person bought something on eBay, and the postman made her sign for it. It's such a hassle. It's just awful. Some of these reviews, by the way, are right there. I thought that you would not believe some of the ones I'm going to show you, and so I gave you the URL. And the presentation will be up online on my blog later as well. This one, you know, some of the reviews are sad. I ordered makeup online, received quickly. Brother says I'm still ugly. Product obviously does not work. Sorry about that. Sorry. Some are tragic. Seller did not poke holes in the box before shipping kitten. One can only hope it was not shipped over land in summer on a large truck that took 2 weeks to get there. And some are somewhat sad, but somewhat hopeful. You know, it arrived broken. I still believe in Jesus. Amen. But there's a much more important implication. Now, it's very important what reviews you get, what people are saying about you, because guess what? When somebody's deciding whether or not to do business with you, what are they going to do first? They're going to check you out. And everybody has a private investigator at their fingertips, and they're going to Google, they're checking you out on Facebook, they're checking you out on Twitter. What have people said about you? What's going on? So that's an important implication, but there's an even more important implication. In all this sea of data, this dataverse we've been talking about, in all the stuff that's going out there right now, how on earth do you stand out? How on earth do you become discoverable? How on earth do people know how to find you? So the implication is boring stuff dies. Unremarkable stuff dies. Irrelevant stuff dies. Irrelevant as decided upon by the user, him or herself. And if you're not visible, apologies, but you don't exist. So what can you do about it? And here we're going to go into 4 kind of practical things that you can do about social media and you and your business and your brand. First thing is to claim your space. Before you even know what you're going to do with it, before you have a clue, before you have an idea, what am I going to put there? What am I going to do there? I don't know. Why should I go? Claim your space. Important thing to do. Very important thing to do, because if you don't claim it, it won't be there long. There are, remember those 2.1 billion people online, 1.5 billion on social networks, they're going to claim your space for you. Now, where should you claim your space? There are some people, this research FYI says 50 social sites that every business needs a presence on. We all have time for that, right? Really? 50? Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, here's my advice. Claim a bunch and pick 2 or 3 to focus on. If you look at this, we know what that is. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google+, especially when the brand and company pages for Google+ come out. Claim those, get them now, get your brand there now, make sure you've got it. Now, start gentle engagement there, mostly listening. Now, if you were going to a new country, you're going to Nigeria for a holiday, check it out, do safari, whatever. You wouldn't come to that country and just start expecting everything to be done the way that you would expect it to be done, right? Unless you're American. That's a joke. Start gently. Feel your way through. Check it out. See what people are doing there. Listen. Find out what goes, what happens in this social network before you start getting big on communicating there. While you're at it, claim and or set up your free profile on the online directories. That's these guys. That's us, Campages, that's Yellow Pages, that's 401.ca, a bunch of other directories out there. We'll get into why in just a little bit. It's important to do. Now, make certain all the information is synchronized. And by the way, don't bother. You don't have to grab notes. I'm going to put this online. It'll be on the Campages blog. It'll be on my blog. It'll be on SlideShare. It'll be a lot of different places. It'll be shared a lot of places. Make sure it's synchronized. If it's not synchronized, you'll confuse people. You'll confuse search engines. And you don't want to confuse search engines because they'll start ignoring you. Link up those profiles. Most online profiles allow you to put in links to other places where you are online. Link them together. Create a little mini network there. And link them back to your own site. Okay? What you're doing is you're making yourself easily check-outable. So somebody wants to find out about you. You have a business. What's your business name again? Sorry, I forget it. Shebang Design, exactly. Somebody's checking out Shebang Design. They find your YouTube page. And from there, there's a link from your account. There's a link to your Twitter page. And by the way, there's a link to your website. And there you go, right? You've created a chain through which people can learn a bit more about you, understand you from different angles and perceptions and sides, and get a sense, hey, you're good people to work with. I have no personal knowledge of that, of course. Now your feet are wet. Now you've started. Now you're engaged. You're in the game. Second, evaluate your brand. Now we probably have a lot of branding experts in here, and I'm not going to go into this and teach you how to brand your business. You guys are the experts in that. I am going to say when you go into social media, when you start talking about social media, there's a few things you want to look at. First of all, your brand is you. You're going to be engaged in this. Your brand is what you say. It's what you do. It's what other people say as well. Understand that. Your brand is what you do. Apparently, branding means a different thing on YouTube than it does in the rest of the world. This is some dude who is getting branded as cattle get branded. That is a red-hot piece of metal held by pliers, and he's branding his forehead. Apparently, it's a big thing to do. This is a second result for branding on YouTube. So what you do is your brand. And what people see, what they like, what they tweet, what they stumble, what they review, what they +1, what they talk about, that's your brand. It's always been the case. We've been able to say in other eras of mass media, this is what we are, this is what we say, but the brand has always existed in somebody's space and in their conversation. But now the message is amplified and long-lived, okay? And now it's tweeted and shared and liked or not liked or disliked, and people are saying things about you, reviewing things, and it stays there for forever. Do you remember those 2 or 3 of these guys? Feed 2 of them. Pick 2 of them. And I'm going to say pick these 2. Facebook, biggest social network in the world. Twitter, probably the second biggest, probably the most important in terms of getting information out. But pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. It is a cardinal error to go into social media and start saying, I'm going to build my presence, build my brand, build who I am to my customers on Facebook or on Twitter or anywhere else. I'll give you an example why that happened just this past week. I mentioned Facebook came out with a new product called Timelines. Guess what? There was a company called Timelines. And guess what? They did similar things, which was build sort of a personal history of people. And guess what? They had the Facebook page, facebook.com/timelines. And guess what? Facebook took it. Okay? So you do not control Facebook. You do not control Twitter. You do not control any of those sites. So be careful. Build your own brand and use the sites, but don't build it exclusively and dependent upon those sites. So whether you blog or whether you have a site, build your brand there and then make it interesting, relevant, remarkable, and then share it out. Now you feed the data monster. So you put something on your blog, it's an interesting post, tweet it out. Simple. And you can automate that. There are tools for doing that, especially if your site is on WordPress, where there's a million different plugins for that. You do an interesting partnership with another business. Maybe it's a dinner and a movie. Maybe you're in web design and it's an SEO partnership or something along those lines. Share it on Facebook. Feed the data monster. Get your content coursing throughout those search engines and social networks so you're discoverable, findable, and all those good things. So why are you doing all this? Sounds like a lot of work, right? Does it? Or is it easy? It is easy in some sense, but it's a lot of work. Why are we doing that? Remember this slide? That's why we're doing that, because the entire culture is moving online. At Campages, we go where the clients are, and I'm guessing that's the same for most of your businesses as well. And it's always nice to own the first page. This happens to be me. There's some dude who's named John Coetzee, in some US state, and he's a dentist, and he's always trying to crawl up here. And I keep pushing him down. And I own the first page. Now think about owning the first page of Google results for your name, your brand. That's kind of cool. That's good. That's excellent. Now you may not have a million people searching for your brand, but imagine owning the first page of Google for your niche, your industry, which might be web design in Vancouver. It might be whatever it is. If you can own that first page, why not? Go for it. So finally, fourth, set up some monitoring. You cannot know everything that's going on. You won't see it all. You won't hear it all, but you want to know. When somebody has a bad experience with you, you want to know about it. When somebody has a good experience with you, you want to amplify it, and you want to share it. You want to send it out there. If it's a bad experience, you want to be able to contact that person and say, hey, I'm sorry, I apologize. I guess something went wrong there. We screwed up. What can I do to make it right? And you can turn that bad story into a positive story. So there's a bunch of different ways, and you can set up lots of complex and complicated and expensive ways to monitor. There's 2 free ways. Really simple, 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 easy. And I'm just smiling because they're taking a picture of me right now. Sorry. Google Alerts. You see the address right there? What are you looking for? You might put your brand in there. You might put your business name in there. You might put your address in there. How about your physical address if you have one? Set up when you want results to come to you. If it's everything or if it's just blogs or whatever, create an alert. Done. Done. Simple, easy. Now, it doesn't capture everything. You need some social monitoring as well. There's some better monitoring from Social Mention, which actually is sometimes better than some of the paid tools that we use. And this will check Facebook and Twitter and a lot of other places. Free, easy to use. Then you know what's going on and you can react to it. So we talked a lot about media. We talked about the Dataverse. We talked about the evolution of what's going on. We talked about how social media came out and what it's doing. I'm not paying attention to you. And so where are we? We're in Marshall McLuhan's Global Village, right? Everybody knows you get drunk on Fridays. It's the village. Everybody knows you spent too much time at the widow's cottage. Radical transparency is the future. People are going to know you anyways. Why not adopt it open arms, with open arms? That's radical openness and visibility. That's a conversation you're having. Word of mouth, 20 years ago, it happened, and it was awesome, it was wonderful, and maybe it spread to 3, 4 times as many people as you actually interacted with personally. Now you can see it happening, live, real time, and it stays happening. Now you can enter the conversation. Isn't that kind of cool? That's a radical brand. That's social, and it's discoverable, and it's shareable, which makes your business viable. Thank you. I did, oh, can I have my presentation up again? Sorry. I did promise a picture of cute puppies. I did say that at some point, didn't I? So, you know, we will bring up the cute puppies. Sorry, go ahead.
So, John Coutier, everybody. The manager for Online Media Campaign. And I'd like to open it up for 5 minutes of Q&A. So if you guys have any questions about all the interesting things that John talked about today, or before you rush off and add them on LinkedIn.
There's the cute puppy. See, I told you there would be a cute puppy. I did not lie. Excellent. Any questions? Anything? I can say I don't know. We've got somebody over there. Is there a mic that can be run out to him? Just speak up for now. So good point. The question is, if you set up a page, set up an account on Twitter, it can go wrong if you're just trying to sell yourself all the time. That's sort of what I took out of what you said. If I'm wrong, come up and beat me up. You're right. First thing though, as I said, was the first thing, get that account. Get that account. Own that space. Don't let not knowing what you're going to do with it stop you from getting that account. First thing, get that account. Second thing, Start listening in that account and start listening on Twitter. Start following some people. Start understanding what works there. Look at some models. Gary Vee is an excellent example. Gary Vee is amazing. He answers just about everything that comes his way. Start using it that way. Share interesting things. If you sell yourself full-time, I mean, come on. Do you want to go to a dinner party and the guy says, you know what, this is what I sell. You want to buy it? It's awesome. It's wonderful. Buy it. Here it is. Where's your wallet? You know, you're not going to listen to that person. You're not going to follow that person. You're not going to get any followers. Nobody cares. If you care about them, they'll start caring about you. Anything else? Questions about Salesforce. Just be honest, I don't know a lot about Salesforce. It's wonderful and excellent. I've used it very briefly. Software as a service, excellent. I know they've gotten a lot of new different plugins and everything like that, attachments that you can use, and there are some social media ones, but I don't know a lot about them. I haven't used it. Salesforce is great. It's been around for like a decade, and there's a ton of users there. It's a great solution, but I don't know too much about using it with social media. Go for it. So we have an individual who's on Twitter and he's wondering how often he should tweet, right? Yeah? Pardon me? And subject matter. Excellent. What should he tweet about and how often should he tweet? You should tweet about stuff that you're interested in. The previous presentation was, I forget his name, he was the president of Global Media, not Global Media, Global Restaurants. Ehud? Iman. Exactly. And he said, you know what, you should get into a business that you're passionate about. I'm passionate about online stuff. I love social media. I was on Google Plus the first day. I bought the iPad 1 the first day it was out. I bought the iPad 2 the first day it was out. I love devices. So I blog about that stuff and I tweet about that stuff, and that's my business and that's what I care about. If you have a business, hopefully you're passionate about it, you love it, you live it, you breathe it. Talk about that. Talk about what makes it excellent. The example I gave earlier, Thomas Mahan, the English tailor, didn't start tweeting or blogging about, you know, what the weather was like in London or traffic sucks and I have to come downtown again or something like that. He started blogging about what he loved, which is tailoring and doing the perfect cut and perfect measurements and amazing. And you know what? When somebody's passionate about something, it's interesting to just about everybody. Isn't that amazing? It's kind of cool. It's kind of catchable. It's kind of viral. So that's my answer there. I know it's a partial answer, but it's all you're getting today. Go ahead.
I got a mic now.
Awesome, you rock.
Yeah. So I work in an event-based business, and they're very spaced apart. One is every 2 years, another one is annual. What's a good strategy to like get and maintain social awareness and followers, like in 8 months out from the event? I don't want to be hitting them too hard and say, mark it on your calendars 8 months in advance. You know what I mean?
Yep, excellent point. How strong a connection do you have with the people who come to your conference?
The one event is a very strong minimum $1,000 entry fee, so it's a really deep connection.
If they love your conference, they'll talk about your conference. Give them reasons to. Give them opportunities to. Start, if you have them in a database, let them know, not in a pushy way, that you now have a blog, or you now have a Twitter account, or you now have a Facebook page, or whatever. Invite them to come onto that, once in every once in a while. Then post interesting things is what I would do, and let them share it, let them tweet it, let them retweet it, let them do those things. They will multiply your efforts. And you know what? You'll post something every couple of days. Don't expect everybody to see everything. You mentioned as well, there's a million people on Twitter, and there's a million messages going through. They won't see everything. So it's okay to repeat a message occasionally. But if you have a dedicated, passionate audience, that's the best thing you can hope for. That's wonderful. You've got 90% of it made right now. Let them know what's going on, and they will share it because they care about it. Cool. Can we have the mic here?
Hi.
Hi.
Probably a very simple question, but this is where I am. Facebook, let's say you are personally registered, but you want to register your company. Is it on the same page that you do that, or you open a separate?
It's funny because it is a simple question, but it's not a simple answer in all cases. It is easy. You can register a page. Just Google set Facebook page up or set up Facebook page or something. You'll find a place to do it. But the way Facebook manages pages and individual accounts is not always easy. You'll find that it's tied to your personal account, and you'll see it come up in your left-hand column there. It's pretty simple to do once you've done it and add a few things there. Best quick answer, I can sit with you after, but best simple answer I say is Google, set up Facebook page. How to set up Facebook page. You'll see 10,000 resources come up. If follow one of them, it'll be done.
Thanks.
No problem. I don't personally use it. I've heard good things. It helps you because you can schedule tweets. That's great. It helps you because you have one piece of software, then you can manage your relationships in all different social networks. You can do Twitter and Facebook at the same time. They'll add Google Plus when Google Plus has an API. API is there, but not quite totally. All that stuff. So a lot of people love it. I don't have anything bad to say about it at all. I just don't personally use it.
So you don't use Hootsuite. Do you use any social media management system?
We use Radian6. So we see some things that are coming in. I use the 2 free services that I mentioned. I still use those, and they still find things that Radian6 sometimes doesn't. We use a couple other monitoring tools, but I don't use a tool to actually enter stuff in. To be honest, I like doing it personally in the environment of the social network. I feel like I'm more connected to that network. I'm more likely to put things into that network that fit into that network's ethos. That's just me. Maybe I'm weird.
Not at all.
Anybody else? Right in front here. We've got the woman with the beautiful custom purses. Talked to her beforehand. She makes purses.
I was just wondering if you had any suggestions for how to have more likes on your Facebook page.
How to have what?
More likes.
More likes on your Facebook page. Oh, don't we all want likes on our Facebook page? Love me, like me, I'm wonderful, don't you? Yeah. The key is engagement. And you know what? You are a perfect example, just like I mentioned earlier with Thomas Mahan and the tailor. You make an interesting product. You make something that's cool. And talk about that, and talk about what makes it interesting. Talk about how it's personalized. Talk about, you know, what makes it special. And people that care, which I'm guessing is most women, will start to want to have that kind of information and will like it. Some contests help, but contests are a little artificial. You'll get people who are just entering to win the thing, and you won't have any engagement. And you know, in the new Facebook, 1 million things are getting shared, and it's just going to whiz by, and they won't notice. In fact, you know that there's a Facebook algorithm, right? You know that's why the friend that you that you added as a friend on Facebook never responds to anything you say? That's because they don't see it. Because the Facebook algorithm is saying, you know what, these guys don't ever really interact. I just won't show them to each other. And that can happen to your brand. And that's the death zone of your brand on Facebook, because you're putting all this effort in, putting all this work in, and you're adding this and liking that, sharing this link, having this contest, and nobody knows. Unfortunately, you were boring. Anything else? It's been a wonderful pleasure. I'm here if you want to talk to me. I'll be in the Campages booth as well.
John Coutier, everybody. Thank you for
Oh, thank you.
thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Appreciate it.
So I'd like to invite you all to head over to the Balmoral Theater, where we'll be talking to Sue Clement about networking. So bring your business cards and head on over. It's happening at 3 o'clock, and then in 15 minutes, we'll be starting our social media committee here. So pop on back.